So, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for my Monday video, so I kind of had some writer's block, more or less. Considering the time frame that I'm shooting this at, it's probably going to go out on Tuesday. But I kind of decided I wanted to put some of the decals on this little Bachmann Hi-Rail. This thing is DCC, and it runs about as well as you think it would, being so light and so short. It doesn't have very good electrical pickups, so I've got to add a keep alive to it at some point. I think I'm going to basically have just the capacitor sticking up through here, and I'm going to paint them to look like barrels. That will come at a later date, though. For now, I'm just going to get this decaled up for Silicon Valley Lines, the club that I am part of. So, the size of the logos we're going to go with are we're going to go with this really small SVL and this really tiny number right here. Now that might be kind of hard to read for some people, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to write the DCC address on the bottom here. And since this likely isn't going to get used too much, anytime it gets used, the person operating will probably be told about that address on the bottom. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get these cut out real quick. So this actually required 2 decal sheets because I'm being lazy and just am using 3 of the numbers that are together on the sheet. I don't feel like assembling them. I've already gone ahead and prepped the chassis here by cleaning it off with some alcohol. So I am using Solvaset. This is a bit different than Microset or Microsol. The name here, it kind of puts both of them in, but this is a solvent-based setting solution, supposedly anyway. It says you can thin it with water here, but I'm just going off of what I've read on multiple forums saying that this is definitely solvent-based. The thing is, you don't use this like Microset or Microsol. This right here only goes on once you've had the decal set. If you put it on and you touch it after, it will just really mess things up. So you need to get the decal set on there, and then you just put a little bit of this on top and it will lay right down. I'm going to pick up Microsol and Microset at some point. I just haven't found it in stores yet, so I should probably just order it online. Anyway, so you just take a little bit of water, put it down there. There we go. I haven't worked with these decals yet, so I have no clue how easy or hard they are to use. Also not sure about their age. Oop. Damn it. I got a little bit of dust in there. That's probably why you should do this in a clean environment, not on your layout where everything is nasty. Alright. So, go ahead and brush a little bit more water on there. As it picks up. So what you can do when the bubble starts picking up, which you might be able to see in the camera there, So you can see how the decal is kind of rounded. That's because the water is on top. Now, get a little bit too much, you can dab it off like that. Let go. So now take the tweezers. Get it up under the door there. And don't touch it. Wake up some of the water. Now we're going to put the number right below that. So I'm going to put it in there and let it dry. Inspect that, yeah. Doesn't help that the chassis and the body are not quite straight. I think it's lined up to the top of the window, but when you kind of look at it otherwise, it's not really the best. Come back here. So I basically am letting this float around in there. Like a game of, what's it, bobbing for apples. But worse. So, add a little water. It's not the best, but it'll do. So now, take a little bit of this solve set and screw myself over. Do you remember how I said don't touch this earlier? Well, this is the reason why. The best laid plans don't survive first contact with the enemy. It came out looking alright. The L started moving around a little bit weird, but in the end it was alright. Just, if you can, don't touch this stuff once you put the solve set on. So here are the decals finished up. Also right behind it I have Future SVL 1302 and Future SVL 806. 806 is actually pretty interesting because it's a GP30 that is going to get some remote couplers that Andy Ambrose sent over. Got to work on that project pretty soon here, but the idea is we're going to have a camera set up above the layout at the club, and we're going to try and do some remote switching where we don't need any on-site people to help out. So stay tuned for that project pretty soon. On top of that, I'll probably also be going through how to install an ESU decoder in this guy with the Keep Alive. Because as it stands, the Bachmann decoder that's in there is pretty hard to program, and this thing just does not run very well. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Boulder Creek Yard out.